Welcome to Muslim Academy's podcast series, a collection of interviews with individuals living in Muslim countries or living as Muslims, striving to bridge the gap between the Western world and the Muslim world. In today's podcast, our hosts, Caitlin and Chris, interview Ehab about dispelling myths about modern Egyptian life and the challenges of living as a Christian within a country which is predominantly Muslim and in political turmoil.
I'm Ehab. I live in Egypt, in Cairo specifically. We're gonna talk about my first article, the stereotypical questions I always get online from people from the western side of the world. And we're gonna talk about the elections, because the second round of the elections is between two choices. It's either someone from the old regime or someone from the Muslim Brotherhood, and how will that affect us as Christians in Egypt?
Right. Well, I've been looking at your article on the stereotypical questions, and I'm curious, you really get these questions.
Yes, seriously, 100%.
People really ask you, where is your cave and where is your camel?
Yes, because that's the image they have of Egypt. Like it's in another article, it's the movies and all the media, it's all about deserts and tents, so they think we live in caves until now.
It's very interesting. I don't have that perspective, so
thankfully.
Yes, thankfully. I know it's very stereotypical, though. I had a class this past semester on the Arab uprisings, and people just didn't know anything about it. So it's very interesting, but could you tell me, where do you get these questions? I guess not tourists, because if they're there, they obviously see that you're not in a cave.
Yes.
People just ask you this online?
Yes, I used to play a lot of online games. Whether it's on Facebook or like Diablo and Warcraft and this type of games. So people get surprised when they know that I'm Egyptian and I'm playing online, so I have a computer and internet access. So they start asking me these questions, like, how do you have internet access when you're living in the desert?
That's a little sad, I must say, but...
Yes.
And how do you respond to that? Do you get frustrated, or how does it make you feel?
Well, the first couple of times I was frustrated, but then I got used to it. They asked me the question, I tell them no, and I start explaining the reality of it.
Right. And are these people, I know you said more Western, but is it like mostly European, Americans, or?
It's either Europe or the US, mostly.
Right. And why, I know you talked about the media and movies, but why do you think that image is so prevalent, and how do you think you would change it?
Well, they should change it by when they're talking about the Middle East or Egypt or any other country, they should send the real image. They should go to the country and maybe do the footage there, so everything would be real, instead of going to any desert and say it's Egypt or it's the Middle East, because that's not true.
Right.
As for the reason, I don't know why do they do it. Do they do it because they actually don't know, which I doubt, or that's the image they want to convey to the Western people? I have no idea.
Right. I guess in portraying any country, obviously all cultures are very complex, and I know you can't necessarily portray all facets of one culture. And I think, not that this is good, but it's easiest just to send one picture of, oh, this is Egypt. Egypt is this or that or something like that.
Well, that's kind of hard.
Yeah. So, I know obviously one of the biggest stereotypes people have in the U.S. is that all people in the Middle East are, as
terrorists.
said in the article, Muslims and therefore terrorists.
Yes.
And so I'm going to guess that you are not a terrorist, and
I think so.
And I know you said that you're a Christian, so how do you, what does that mean for you living there? Does that does that, like, I guess how, as Chris said, like with the Muslim Brotherhood being one of the finalists in the presidential elections, are you worried about that, or do you think that it won't really affect you, or what's your opinion on that?
Actually, it's worrying me a lot because I have to choose between two things. I can't choose between them because I'll be forced to stay away from the Muslim Brotherhood to elect the ex-president, the ex-prime minister of the president, which would cancel the whole idea of the revolution. So that's why people are tending, even if they don't support the ideas and the ideology of the Muslim Brotherhood, and it's the, when you have two bad things, you have to choose the less worse.
Mm-hmm.
If I can say. But what would they actually do if they take the presidential spot? It's really scary because I don't want to take another country for example, but for example Iran.
Right.
The people who are in charge is something called, I don't know what's in English, murshid. I don't know it's a position in the Muslim Brotherhood. It's like the president of the Muslim Brotherhood.
Okay.
He's basically the one who runs the country. And he runs it because of his own ideology. He doesn't care what the people think or what they want. They just go but what they want. And that's dangerous because we didn't do a revolution so someone can control us with the way he thinks.
Right. And do you find that most people there are very frustrated with the two?
Very.
Very.
Very. If you come here and ask anyone, if you walk on the street and you ask anyone what they think about the elections, he will talk to you with such anger about that. He has to choose between two people. He don't want to choose between them at all.
And if so many people, really dislike both of these candidates, how do you think those were the two selected?
And that's the problem. I will talk about the first candidate, the Muslim Brotherhood. They of course have millions of followers all over the country, not only in Cairo or such, but especially in the countryside where people are less educated, because they can easily be bribed. There are pictures on Facebook where they bribe people with sugar and oil and bread, so they can go give their voice to him. It's a known way here, because people are, especially in the countryside, they are poor, so they can easily buy their voices. That's one side of it. Another side of it, that a lot of people, especially Muslims, they think that the Muslim Brotherhood would really carry out the targets of the revolution, which I don't believe they will do. A lot of people think that they are the only political party that is ready and organized to take Egypt to the next step.
Right.
As for the other candidate, Ahmed Shafiq, the ex-prime minister of the president, I don't know how he won actually. It's pretty weird. If you ask anyone from any cultural level or any kind of education, he will start talking about he can't win. He killed us, and I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, Ehab, this is Chris. If I understand it, and I talk to a lot of people throughout Egypt, there are two possible solutions, and correct me if I'm wrong, but one is that there are some people who think that life was better prior to the revolution, because I know that now there might be some violence in the streets, or maybe the economy isn't that good, or things like that. Second, fraud. He bought the votes, essentially. What do you think about those two possible scenarios?
Yes, it's quite possible, especially the second one, that he bought votes, because he's backed by the old regime, so he doesn't have a problem with money, so he can easily buy votes. As for the second one, you're actually right, because especially the people with the age group over 50 and over 45, the old people, they think that everything was stable, and those young boys who went to El Tahrir Square and messed things up, they messed the country. Because everything is not stable now, and people are getting killed, and the crime level has increased, so they blame the revolution for everything. So they think that the only way to fix things is to bring back the old regime, and everything will be good after then, which is ridiculous, actually.
Can I ask, what was life as a Christian like under Hosni Mubarak?
Well, Hosni Mubarak was he made everyone believe that he is protecting the Christians. Like if in the media and everything, it will be like if Hosni Mubarak is gone, the Christians will get killed. If you ever elect anybody but Hosni Mubarak, the Muslims will kill the Christians, which isn't true, because we are 1 year after the revolution and there is no Hosni Mubarak, and I will not say that there is no violence against Christians, but it has been since the 40s.
There was, if I remember, there was a church burning in the north,
yes,
right,
exactly.
in Alexandria.
Yes, exactly.
Can you tell us about that? Because I don't think most people in America, or I don't know, perhaps they do, but I think that most people don't know about this. Can you tell us what happened?
It was prior to New Year's Eve. So people were coming out of the church after the New Year's Eve, and it exploded. It was a bombed car in front of the church, and around more than 50 or 70 people were killed.
So this is prior to the revolution. Okay.
Exactly. Under the regime of Hosni Mubarak, who is supposedly protecting the Christians.
Does anybody know who did the bombing? Was that ever investigated?
Until now, nobody knows anything. But there are people who have theories about it. Some people say it was Islamic extremists, which I really doubt, because since more than 40 years there haven't been a bombing in a church or something like that. So it didn't happen before. So to say that they would come out of the blues and blow up a church, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Another people say something. It's the conspiracy theory that it is the government and it did this because to let the Christians hate the Muslims and to feel the need of Hosni Mubarak more, and say that he will protect us so he can secure the votes of the Christians.
And so this was about New Year's Eve, and 25 days later was the revolution, right?
Exactly.
Do you see any correlation between the two, between the church bombing and the revolution?
Well, some people say that the people were fed up because he was doing nothing, and
right.
Even the thing that he was supposedly doing, that he was protecting the Christians, even that and the church got blown up. So people got fed up.
Okay. Can I ask how many Christians live in Egypt?
There is no accurate numbers because, especially in the countryside and not in civilized areas, there is no clear count of people, even Muslims. But the numbers say, but I'll repeat again, it's not accurate, about 10 million or so.
Is it
It's not 100% accurate.
Is it a very tight community? I mean, do some Christians live together in the same area or the same part of town?
No, not at all. I live in an apartment, and it's about we have about 12 apartments. Only 2 apartments are Christians, and the rest are Muslims. There's no problem at all.
Because I think, like Caitlin said, I think that before I started my Arabic lessons, at least, I kind of had the same. And it's born out of ignorance. It's born out of maybe just what I watch on TV. But that just everyone's Muslim in Egypt, and I guess the vast majority are. But there's still a huge portion of people who are Christian.
Exactly.
And B, that if there were the 2 different religious groups, there would be strife and conflict between them. But it sounds like that's not the case.
No, not at all. I will not say that there is no violence or there's no discrimination, but it's not like what people think. They are not killing us in the street. We do not live in gangs. We do not fight each other. It's just separate incidents where people who are uneducated or influenced by someone who shouldn't be influenced from, they take actions, and it's against Christians, but it's not all Muslims think about it like that way.
Can I ask, and I'll turn back to Caitlin after this, but can I ask if the if the Muslim Brotherhood wins the election, are you frightened or are you kind of worried about if there's going to be any changes to you as a Christian?
I'm certainly worried. And I cannot but feel worried because if we ever turn like Iran, it will be I will not stand living in this country anymore.
Right. What kinds of things are you worried about happening, if you don't mind me asking?
No, sure.
Like
first thing, there will be no freedom at all.
For Christians or for anyone?
Basically for everyone, but especially for Christians. We will not be able to go to church. We will not be able to move freely, to wear the clothes we want to wear. Like in Iran, as I know, برضو, I don't know if that's the media or that's the truth in Iran, but everyone has to wear a hijab, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not freedom. It's not freedom at all. I'm not saying that the Muslim Brotherhood here would do that, but I'm worried about that. If that happens, it wouldn't be a good thing at all.
And the hijab is the headscarf, which shows everything.
Yes, exactly.
But okay, it shows only the face, and the niqab is something that shows only the eyes, correct?
Exactly, yes.
Are you worried about the niqab as well, or only the hijab?
Well, both of them. If they start telling people that they must wear it, and it kills any concept of freedom, because even in their religion, you have the choice: either you wear it or you don't want to wear it.
Right.
Because God never tells someone to do something against His will, so it should be optional, not obligatory.
Right now, are there difference in rights between Christians and Muslims in Egypt?
In the civilized areas, no. Like in Cairo or in Giza or the places where the civilized people, there isn't.
Okay.
But again, in the countryside, there are a lot of incidents where the discrimination against Christians exists.
Can you give me an example?
For example, there was I don't remember the name of the town exactly, but and actually this incident repeats itself a lot. There will be a young man who is a Christian or a Muslim who got involved with a girl, a Christian or Muslim. You know, one of them is Christian and the other is Muslim. And when the parents or the people at the town, they know about this, they tend to take actions against the Christians by making them leaving their homes and to kick them out of the town because of what happened, because of the relation between them. Because and here in Egypt, a relationship between a Muslim girl or a boy and a Muslim boy or girl, it's not accepted.
Are you permitted as a Christian to marry a Muslim woman?
No.
No. Okay. Is that by law or is that just by custom?
Well, actually, by law, you can marry anybody.
Okay.
But it's a customary and a religious thing.
Okay. Oh, so Muslims cannot marry non-Muslims, or is it a Christian thing as well?
I will tell you. In Islam, a man can marry a non-Muslim girl.
Okay.
But the opposite cannot happen. Like a woman cannot marry a Christian man, and there where the problem happens. If that ever happens, people start to take actions against it.
I see. May I ask if you yourself have ever been discriminated against in Egypt because you're a Christian?
No, for me personally, never. Because it may be because of the medium I live in and the environment I live in are all friendly people. It's peaceful. Everybody is educated. So it happens when the education level is down, the discrimination starts to happen.
Okay.
Because people are easily influenced when they are not educated.
Caitlin, do you have any other questions?
Sure, yeah. So I'm wondering, we're talking a lot about Christians and Muslims, but obviously there are other religions. Is there any difference, with the Jews or Baha'is or any other religion that you see?
Well, in Egypt, before the 40s, I think there were Jews in Egypt. And they had it's a place was called, I don't know if you know, it's called Harat al-Yahud. Al-Yahud is Jews. They were accepted in society, but after Israel and Palestine and all conflict, the Jews started to migrate from the Arab countries to Israel.
Right.
So the population of Jews in Egypt is almost none.
Right. Okay.
And yes, as for Baha'in, I ask you for Baha'in, it's the same. If there is some, they are. I think they are being. If someone says I am a Baha'i, he will. People will discriminate against him because you don't believe in God and such.
Right, which isn't the case.
What?
What is?
I said which.
Maybe you can tell us what is a Baha'i, because I myself do not know.
Sure, the Baha'i faith was founded in Persia, or founded, I guess is the wrong word, and essentially views religion as a, continued revelation, like Christianity evolved from Judaism, Islam evolved from Christianity, etc. But the belief is that all people are one and there's only one God, and these are just different ways of looking at God, essentially.
Great. So is this, you said it was revealed in Iran. Is that the same thing as Shiite? Is a Baha'i Shiite?
No, it's
Oh.
a different religion, but it does follow more of the Shia Islam than Sunni. But no, it's a different religion.
Okay. But it sounds like most of the people in Egypt might discriminate against them just like they would to people who are Jewish. Is that
Yes,
correct?
exactly.
Okay.
Yes, because they seem like they have no religion. So if you're not Muslim and you're not Christian or you're not Jew, you don't have a religion.
Okay.
So they start to discriminate against them. Yes.
Okay. So, Caitlin, do you have any other questions?
Well, I am curious. In the immediate aftermath of Mubarak stepping down, I saw a lot of people who were very frustrated that, we don't have the government we want now, which I certainly understand. People are, protesting, losing and risking their lives for a new government. I'm just wondering, what do you think is the right solution? Because on one hand, people desperately want the right government now, but on the other hand, it takes a long time to form, a fully functioning government. What do you think? How do you think people are dealing with that push and pull?
Well, the problem is that all the goals and the targets of the revolution will have been accomplished if we had a real presidential candidate that presents the people. Like, instead of having someone from the Muslim Brotherhood and the ex-regime or the former regime, I doubt that any of them will make a good government that would be fair to people. Because, for example, the Muslim Brotherhood, if you don't know, they have the whole parliament,
Right.
all kinds of unions, and they will have the president. So if they have all the powers in the country, there will be no opposition. So it's nothing new from the old regime. They will control everything. So no way they will be fair.
Do you think people will go back into the streets again if that happens?
I believe so, and yeah, because of the amount of people who died, if we stop because we are bored or we say that there is no hope, then the people who died for vain. So if something else happens, actually after I don't know if you're following the trial of President Hosni Mubarak, the ruling was today. Yes. So people already started going to Tahrir. There are small numbers still, but people, they still remember the square and they know that it's their salvation. If anything happens, they will go to the street again. If the Muslim Brotherhood started to discriminate against people, they will go to Tahrir Square again. If Ahmad Shafiq became the president and started to discriminate against people and to kill people, they will go to Tahrir Square again. I believe so. I hope so.
And you would.
That's for sure.
Great. Well, I think that's it, but thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, I have one further question. Before we go, Ehab, how many camels do you own?
Actually, I have two.
You have two. That's great.
Yes, yeah.
And one's in your hut, right?
Yes. The other one is my cousin. He's going to the cave, so.
Oh, good.
He's using it now.
Good. Well, be careful on the sand. I hear it can be very hot right now.
Yes, exactly. That we don't have any kind of air conditioning. We live in tents, so it's kind of hard.
Well, you have a woman with a big palm leaf just brushing you all the time, right?
Yes, exactly. You have the perfect picture.
That's great. So I think we learned a lot from talking to you. Certainly about what the stereotypes, and as Caitlin said, we're very appreciative of letting us know what life is like, not only as someone living in Egypt, but as a Christian living in Egypt. And we would certainly like to talk to you again if you have time.
Yes, sure. Of course, it's my pleasure.
Thank you.
I wish you the best with the elections. I don't know what could happen, but I'm certainly watching very closely.
Yeah, may I ask, what is the lesser of two evils?
I still haven't decided yet. I don't know.
You don't know. It's either...
I'm still thinking about it. I can't choose one of them. That's the problem.
Yeah. It's either Mubarak or is it Sharia? Will it be Sharia law?
What?
Islamic law, an Islamic regime, like Iran.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, so those are the two options. And it sounds like those aren't very good options for you.
Yes, some friend of mine told me something. I still remember that now. He says that one of them killed me and the other will, so it's a hard choice.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for talking with us.
Now you're welcome. It's my pleasure,
Thank you.
actually.
And we'll talk to you soon, I hope.
I hope.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Caitlin is a student in Boston, Massachusetts. Chris is an attorney in Boston, Massachusetts. Ehab is a freelance writer in Cairo, Egypt. Music is by George Dimitri Sawa. This podcast was produced by Muslim Academy. Please visit www.muslim-academy.com for more podcasts and other resources about Muslim language, culture, and religion.